Okay, let me create here a new class that I will call lazy, and inside I will have a constructor, and inside the constructor what I'm going to do is just pass something like this factory. So I'm going here to write how an example use that, so you see in parallel how I'm planning to use that. So let's maybe delete those, and I'll have here a result, and I will have a new lazy. That's how I'm plan to use it, and inside pass something that will return a value. And here I want at some point to be able to access the value. For example, do something that like that, value, and then maybe at some point later I will use the value again, but at that point I don't want to reevaluate what is it inside the factory. I just want to use the same value. So that's, in essence, that's like a singleton, right? So what we are going to do is I will have a factory, initialize with a factory. Here I will save the factory, and then I will have a getter. That's an ECMA script, like getter property. We'll have a value that's like a getter, right? This will work fine if we have a declaration like that. So here we want to have an if this v, and v will be the instance of the factory evaluation, so there will be the 5. If there is no such property still, then we create a property from our factory evaluation. So we'll evaluate that and store it, or else we just return this v. Right, so at that point this must function properly. So let's run that and see what happened. That's correct. And the second time, if we put a breakpoint here, we'll see that the second time we do not enter this if block. So that's a lazy. Now, what was the point of all this? We could make this lazy into a factor by adding a valid map function. I'll take an f and return, well, what will return? It will return a new lazy that will take a factory, but first we will evaluate the previous lazy, so we can either just for consistency we should do this value and then apply the function f to the previous value and then return that. So that allows us to write something like this without when we are using the map, we do not evaluate the lazy. So at that point the result is still lazy. We haven't evaluated that. We can see that by adding a breakpoint here. So at that point, after the map, there was no evaluation of the factory. You can see that if we debug here, you will see that up until here there is no evaluation, and only when I try to access the outer value then I get the evaluation of the factory. Yeah, so that's creating a factor out of lazy. Here you see that the map preserves the property of the laziness. If it didn't preserve the laziness, it would not be a proper map, right?